What is up, my friends? Welcome back to the Ascension podcast.
With you are your hosts, Alyssa Montgomery and Carter Montgomery.
What is up, my friends? What's good, babe?
It is the first Monday of a new month. Happy February, everyone. I feel like January just came and went so quick. Like we're already 2 months into the new year.
We are. Time is flying, but we're flying too. And those of you who are watching, check out this new podcast studio.
Yeah, you can find all our videos of our podcast on YouTube if you're someone who likes to watch a video while you listen to people talk. You can see the progression of our studio and now here in its final form.
We did it all, my friends. We got a new backdrop. We got lighting. We got the acoustic panels up, so the sound is better. The lighting is better. The look is better. We are rocking and rolling.
We're so legit.
We are too legit.
We're so professional. I'm not going to say too legit to quit. I'm not
Too
corny.
legit to quit.
Sometimes I'm corny.
If you guys can drop in the comments what movies that's from,
Too legit.
I'll give you a tub of protein. So I want to see some comments. I will literally mail out a tub of protein to whoever can comment, first comment in the YouTube channel on what movie that's from. Go. But anyway, yes, guys, new and improved podcast studio. We're very pumped on it. Crazy thing is these panels came in at like 9:30 at night. I had the grand idea to then put them together and was up till like 12:15.
When he wakes up at 3:40 in the morning, I was supposed to go with him to the gym that morning too. And I was like, love you, babe. I'm going to sleep 2 more hours.
But when I have stuff to do something, I like to get it done. I don't like to wait. I like to move at a fast speed.
Yeah. I mean, he just likes to check things off his list and move on and get on to the next thing.
I do, even if that means running on 3 hours of sleep. I definitely was regretting it the next morning, that's for sure. But it looks fucking great, so there's that.
Yes, you did a great job.
Thank you, thank you. Everyone else, I need the validation, so send it my way. Today's going to be a fun one, my friends. Before we dive into things, as always, this podcast is brought to you by us, the one and only Ascension Fitness. For any of you who are out there on your fitness journey or want to start your fitness journey, need some guidance, new, old, masters at this, newbies, whatever it is, we got you covered. In the description, there's a link to our website. Go hear from some of our clients. Check out some of our insane client transformations. And we'd love to have a talk with you. What we'd like to do is put you guys through an in-depth consultation call, get to know you, a little bit about your history, your goals, map out a strategy to bring it all to life. And as always, you'll be talking to us directly. So if you're interested, click the link, fill out the application. Let's chat.
Yeah, all of our coaching comes with guaranteed results coaching. And that means you have to listen to what we say and do what we say. That's how you get your guaranteed results coaching. So what that also means for us is having people that are 100% coachable, they want to learn and are like ready. Like I'm ready to go and make the most of this and learn and execute and listen to you and be better. And that does come with its own challenges. And that's kind of what we're leading into with our podcast topic today is how fitness brings your shit up, is what you said, babe. So how would you define what that means?
Fitness exposes your shit.
Exposes your shit.
Because it does. Any of you who have been on a fitness journey, you know that there's a massive mental component to this journey. And ultimately, we always say, like, the byproduct is the awesome physique. It's mastering the mental state. And this is the only thing that you have complete control of. I was actually talking to some of my friends this morning about it, and like, you can't control your wife, you can't control your kids, you can't control your business, you can't control the house, you can't control shit. But the one thing, the one and only thing in your entire life that you have complete control over is your body. What you eat, what you do with your body, how you move, all of that is solely dependent on you. And the crazy part of that is it exposes a lot of shit for people because, again, it's facing yourself in the mirror and finding out the areas that you are lacking in and the areas that ultimately need to be improved in order for you to bring the vision to life.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we did this to the extreme. If you don't know mine and Carter's background, we are both retired professional bodybuilders. We retired at 22, 23 years old. Or so I was like 24, you were like 23. Because we started so damn young. So that is like the epitome of control over your body. And now we get to teach how to achieve that look without having to go through what we went through as far as those extremities go. Um,
Yeah, but the fun part of even going to the extreme with it is it allowed us to develop this unstoppable discipline. Nobody was forcing you to get up early in the morning and do cardio, train twice, sometimes 3 times a day. Nobody was forcing you to eat certain food. No one was making sure you're getting all your food in, your supplements, your water. Like, it is the highest level of discipline that you can get to. And through that process, you turn yourself into a fucking soldier. And anything you like come across in life, you now have this insane work ethic that you can apply to literally anything, and you will come out successful from it. And that's why I think fitness in general is so powerful, because again, you're able to equip yourself with tools that you need to literally excel anywhere in your life.
yeah, and while competing in bodybuilding can be pretty selfish because you do have to zone in and sacrifice on a lot if you want to achieve like elite, like next level, top tier, like being professional as an athlete in the sport. But when it comes to just like your lifestyle and health and fitness, it teaches you to be selfish in a more positive way, because what it really exposes, if you aren't taking care of yourself, that you don't value yourself enough to put yourself first. And I think that's the first thing that it exposes for you, is when you wake up and say, I have not put myself first and I have not prioritized myself because I haven't been taking care of my health and my body, and I feel like crap and I look like crap.
And our most successful clients, every single one, literally 100%, every single one, the initial conversation we had with them was exactly that. They said, I'm done. I put my business first. I put my family first, my kids, everything, my school, everything came first except me. And now I'm completely unhappy. I've checked all the boxes. I have the money, the cars, the wife, the family, the education, everything you can name, but I am still not happy and fulfilled. And why is that? Because they're not happy with how they're walking around. They don't wake up every morning and look at themselves in the mirror and go, fuck, I am proud of that person I'm looking at. And that's why it exposes your shit. And so let's dive into it a little bit deeper. I come across this often. I come, especially male and female, but I'm going to talk about the male here for a little bit, is I have a lot of guys who come in and they've achieved big things in business. They've conquered a lot in life, and I admire all of that. But you see them crumble during this fitness process. And why is that? Because it's the one thing they can't fake. It's the one thing they can't hide. The results are 100% solely dependent on you. It's not dependent on your team, it's not even dependent on your coach. It's not dependent on anything except you and the work you put in and the consistency you have behind that work. Again, we talk about this all the time. It's about putting the work day in and day out without seeing that immediate result, but knowing that if I continue to do the same shit over and over again, I will get to my goal. And every single day, we win the day, we win the week, we win the week, we win the month, and everything compounds from there. And that's what this process is all about. How long can you keep it consistent? How long can you stay focused on that vision and put in the work, even on the days you don't fucking feel like it, even when the kids get sick, even when work turns into a shit show? Are you able to actually continue to show up for yourself? And when you continue to show up for yourself, you build that unstoppable confidence that we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as far as like women goes, I'll focus more on like moms is once they have a baby and they go through that postpartum process, and let's say they have like a couple kids in like a 4 or 5 year time span, they're like get pregnant, and then they're like, okay, now I'm breastfeeding, and then they're trying to like get back to feeling like their body again, and they're going through these huge hormonal shifts, and then by the time they might feel semi-normal, they're having another kid again, and then so it could be years and years before they finally put themselves first again. But it's breaking that cycle and realizing you have to prioritize yourself. And I was literally talking to one of our clients. I think she has like 6 kids, and she has a full-time job. She has like almost all boys, I think, and they all play sports. And she coaches basketball for one of them. She coaches baseball for another. So she's literally putting so many people in front of her, but she loves her fitness, and her gym is like her one time. She's like, those are the only 1 to 2 hours a day to myself. And really, we're just like honing in, okay, how can we master your situation so we can like nail the nutrition so you can see like the fat loss results that you want, because obviously the dedication to the gym's there. So let's make everything else a little bit easier for you so you continue to prioritize yourself, because eventually the kids grow up and they move out of the house. And if you don't do anything to take care of yourself, all you're left with is yourself, and you have no idea how you got there.
Yeah, and that's why it exposes everything. Because again, you're looking at that mirror of yourself and you're seeing like where are the areas that I'm lacking in. And even us, like everyone, we all lack self-discipline, right? Like there all comes a point in our life where we lack that self-discipline. And some people that period of time has just been way longer than others. Some people it's a year, some people it's 10 years, some people it's 25, 30 years of lacking that self-discipline. So when you go to put yourself through this process, you think, oh, it's just this diet and nutrition plan, but not realizing that there's this massive mental component about you re-equipping yourself with that self-discipline.
So, what would you say the first step is to being able to truly like look at yourself and be exposed with this? Like, I can't fake it. Like, I can't fake the results. Like, I actually have to do the work to get the results. So, what would you say wakes someone up to be able to prioritize? Because we could talk about you got to prioritize yourself, you got to put yourself first, right? That's like saying, oh, you got to communicate with your partner to have a healthy relationship. Well, what the fuck does that mean? So, like, what would you say like someone needs to do to like wake up and realize like this is a priority and I have to show up every day to get those results? Like it's not 2 days or 3 days or 4 days out of the week. It's like every day I need to execute.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is reframing it. A lot of people come in, they're like, all right, cool. Like, I'm going to coach with you for 6 months. And they're ultimately kind of waiting for that 6 months to end. But it's not about the period of time we have together. It's about a lifestyle recalibration because you need to understand you're in the situation you are in right now because of all the decisions you made previously. So if we were to just put you through a 6 month program, you make some progress and you go back to all those same habits and tendencies that you're previously doing, you will lose all of that progress. So it's about a lifestyle recalibration. And so the biggest thing I see in the most successful clients is they realize that this is a start of a new lifestyle for me. This isn't a 6 month, a year long thing. This is me recalibrating my life, equipping myself with a bunch of new habits and actions that are going to allow me to make and sustain the progress that I ultimately want. And again, through that process, you build a massive like mental fortitude through it all. And so I think the biggest piece and where everyone needs to start out is reframing it. This isn't a fucking quick fix beach body fucking boot camp. This is about you recalibrating your life, getting rid of all the negative traits and the things that got you in the position you are in right now, keeping the positive ones, and then replacing those negative ones with even more positive ones that align with all the actions that you actually want the outcome of.
Yeah, I always tell people if it took you 10 years of eating like crap, barely moving your body, not prioritizing your health, and gaining this much fat, like it's going to take you 10 years to undo all of that in order to sustain it. That's why people, for example, and I'm going to go a little more extreme here, that are on like a 100-pound, 80-pound weight loss journey, like it takes so much time to get them to the point where they're like now adapting to be like a smaller human being. It's really no different for anyone else in any other type of body.
And that doesn't mean it's going to take you 10 years to see progress or 10 years to be in a body that you love, but it's just understanding that like we can't undo your 20 years of bad habits in 3 months. It doesn't work that way. And so again, it's recalibrating the life. Again, addressing a lot of those negative things as they pop up. Not everything is going to come up in the beginning, but as you go through the journey, you're going to start understanding like, damn, this is the way I used to look at food. Okay, cool. We need to reframe that shit. Here's how I used to look at exercise. Okay, cool. We need to reframe that shit. Here's some of the habits or actions that I used to do on a weekly basis that just do not serve me. Okay, cool. Let's kill those fuckers and then again implement some positive ones into it that align with the outcome that you want. And when you go through that process and when you do that, again, you turn yourself into a soldier. You make yourself equipped to literally handle anything in your life because you've just got rid of all the bad shit and replaced it with the positive things.
And backing off what Carter said, it of course it's not going to take you 10 years to make progress and see progress, but the sustainability component is having enough time in this lifestyle to go through life challenges and sustain the progress. Like that's the sustainability part. When you're able to have the tools and the resources of experience and backing that experience it up with results and continuing those results, like life gets hard, shit's going to happen. So you have to know how to maintain what you have in your lifestyle and your daily habits so you don't revert back to that old version of yourself. And this is the mindset shift that I focus on with a lot of clients. I always, whenever they say that something comes up from them that's like an old habit, I'm like, hey, that was old Alyssa. Like old Alyssa believed X, Y, and Z, but you're new Alyssa. So how does new Alyssa act? How does new Alyssa think? Like what does she do in order to show up to be this version of you that you're becoming? And it's really like separating the two characters because you're taking this old narrative and you're creating a new narrative for yourself. And that's how you really break apart of that is not viewing that old version of you as you anymore. Like it's an old guy. That's that old chick. Like it's not the same person.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point and something you guys need to like put in your fucking phone notes, keep this top of mind and always remember that like whoever you want to become, you need to start acting and thinking, key component here, thinking like that person. So again, what would that person with the elite body, with the fucking whatever you want, like how does that person think? What are the actions they do every day? Guarantee you they're not like end their night drinking fucking beers and eating a box of pizza. Guarantee it they're not. Right? So like what are the actions they're doing? And again, reframing the mindset around it all and understanding that that was an old version of you. And one of the most powerful things I've heard is that excuses are packaged differently. We don't have kids, okay, but we coach plenty of people with kids, but we could have our own excuses on why we don't make progress. Yours might be kids, ours it might be running a business. There's so many things that happen and everyone has this ultimately kind of the same excuses. They're just packaged differently, but it all comes down to the same shit. They're all excuses. You either make yourself a priority, again, think and act like the person you actually want to become, or you don't, and you stay in all your same fucked up patterns and don't make the progress and just continue to be super unhappy and then chip away at your self-confidence through that process because you can't reframe shit and you can't rewire the way you actually look at everything.
Yeah, I can relate to creating the version of myself today that I wanted to be in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever the time frame was, to my competition journey of achieving the goal of winning my IFBB Wellness Pro card. Is after my first show, I did a bikini competition in 2015. From that day forward, I committed to acting like, thinking like, behaving like, putting my work ethic in, my nutrition, my workouts, my mindset intention into being the professional bodybuilder that I wanted to be. I literally wrote down every day, like, act like a pro, act like a pro, act like a pro. So whatever version of yourself you're creating, like you need to get really clear and visualize who that is and show up for that person every single day because it's the you today that creates the future version of you. The future version of you doesn't just happen. Like it's you showing up every single freaking day with the actions, with the mindset, like your daily energy, the affirmation, the positivity. Like it's not like it's grit, but it's also like the mental version of you that you create today that becomes that.
And the crazy thing is, guys, before we even knew each other, I used to have a background on my phone that said act like a pro. And so, and
No
actually
way.
know, yeah, a bunch of other competitors who had the same thing, but that was the background on my phone for like probably 4 or 5 years straight that said act like a pro and it was the background of my phone. And any new phone I had, I put that as the background. And guess what happened? I turned pro.
Manifest.
Guess what happened to her? She turned pro. It's very simple. Like you have to put this is why I like words of affirmation, all that shit that people think is super hippy dippy actually fucking works because it's the easiest way to reframe your mind and allow yourself to like keep top of mind every single day that like I need to put in the actions that the me I want to become would continue to do. And so that's a big component of it. And I think another side of all of this is understanding that like it is going to be hard. There are going to be days where you don't feel like doing shit. You don't feel like going to the gym, like doing these things, but you have to understand like what's a worse feeling? You pushing through like being a little bit tired and then maybe not getting the greatest workout, but still going and getting it done and then leaving and feeling fucking great? Or you saying no and then just completely destroying your self-confidence for the day, waking up the next morning knowing you fucked up yesterday and then now sitting in this pit of your shit? You have to figure out like, what do I rather go through? And so like even the other week, there was almost every single day last week, I did not want to get up and go to the gym. I was like thinking about even telling Garrett, I was like, bro, I don't even know if I can do these early morning sessions. I was having all these crazy thoughts in my head of just like, I can't do this anymore. Like there's no way, blah, 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 blah. But like I still kept showing up. I still kept doing it. And through that process, no matter how tired I was, I fucking felt better. And I just kept telling myself like, damn, bro, you're keeping your promise to yourself. Good shit. Like keeping your promise to yourself. Good shit every day.
But I mean, just to kind of dive into your like personal experience this last week, it wasn't you not wanting to go to the gym early. It was like some external life stuff that you could have packaged in a bow for your list of excuses for that week of not showing up for yourself. But it was just one week of you not being 100% there, like emotionally, mentally, and physically. But you showing up for yourself gave yourself the confidence of having integrity. And it's like, that's that self trust. Like, that's how you build trust with yourself. It's having the integrity to do the things that you say you're going to do.
And I focused on the one thing I could control because, like, last week, there's a lot of shit that came up, a lot of stuff I was trying to navigate that I didn't really have control over. Like, I guess I sort of had control, but I kind of didn't because it was all coming up in different ways. But I knew, like, I just need to shut the fuck up and focus on that one thing I can control, which I always have, which is what I eat and what I do with my body and, like, how I handle my time. And that's exactly what I did. No matter how difficult the week was, I never deviated from that. And again, I made it through the week. We're in a new week. Things are great. Things are going to continue to be great. But again, I didn't lose any self-confidence through that entire process because I continue to show up for myself. And that is the most powerful thing you can get from all of this.
Going back to like fitness exposing you, feeling tired and skipping that one workout isn't just about feeling crappy the next day and guilty knowing that you didn't do what you said what you were going to do because you were tired and you didn't want to take the 1 hour to work out, even though you'd feel better after, which is crazy because whoever felt like shit after a workout.
Yeah.
It's not the feeling crappy the next day. It's this, and this is where like having accountability and having a coach comes in. It's when you are doing your Monday check-in and you fill out your progress report and you weigh in and you look like a fluffy muffin on your photos and your weight hasn't dropped another week because you felt tired 3 times last week, so you skipped 3 workouts. Like, that's when it's exposing your shit. It's not the you that feels guilty the next day. It's the you that fucked up another week again. That's when it exposes you.
Yeah, 100%. But I think it also exposes you in the moment too. Like, I think that guilt is you exposing part of your shit because that guilt comes from the fact that you didn't have that internal discipline to keep yourself committed.
Yeah, but when you have to write it on paper.
Oh, for sure. It brings it to fucking reality.
You're like
yeah, 100%. That's
staring at your
the data
check-in.
doesn't lie. The data doesn't lie. So that's a huge component. And again, like going back to kind of what I mentioned is like excuses are packaged differently. I even had a client last week, like his kid got sick and he was trying to use that as an excuse. And I'm like, was your wife home? Yeah. Was she okay with watching the kid? Like, yeah, she's at home all the time. She's okay with taking the kid. I'm like, okay, so why couldn't you carve out 1 hour to go like take care of yourself? And he blamed it on his kid again. I'm like, that's not your fucking kid's fault. It's not your wife's fault either. Both of them basically gave you the okay to go do that. And they know how much better you feel mentally and physically when you actually just allocate that 1 hour to yourself and you stay committed to your goals. And that right there is what's going to make your wife extremely attracted to you because she says, hey, no matter what happens, my man is not deviating from his mission. And so again, excuses are packaged differently. But in the end, they're just fucking excuses. And you're either going to use them as a drive to say, no, I'm going to make this happen and learn how to overcome this obstacle, or you're going to let it throw you off the track and, again, feel like shit about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in terms of also fitness exposing yourself, I think for women, after coaching women for so long, especially as some women become mothers and they have daughters or kids that start watching them work out, especially if they're like a stay-at-home mom or watch the kids more or work out at home, like the kids want to start working out with the mom, or they're like watching their mom go on diet plans and things like that. And a lot of what women learn in the beginning or start to become body conscious of is their own mother and how their mom put food on the table or talked about her body or made comments maybe about your body growing up, especially if you come from like a cultural background where they shame you for not eating a certain way or being too heavy or too overweight. It's like those things are like ingrained in your mind. So it really does expose what you've been through growing up and how you've created this vision and body conscious, body awareness of yourself. So it's also rewiring that as you step into your fitness journey and realize that, hey, you're being watched too. Like you're the role model now. So why don't you watch the language that you speak to yourself? Because your 14-year-old, 12-year-old daughter is going to start calling herself fat or pinching her stomach because she sees you doing that. And that's not the kind of example you want to set.
Yeah, like you want to set your kids up for success. And one of our best clients, we love all of our clients, but this guy's become a very good friend of mine as well. Shout out Scott, you know who you are. Scott has 3 kids. He has 1 girl, he has 2 boys. And he was making the kids get up every morning with him, do a little Bible study, then they would go work out, and then they'd shower, he would take them to school and then go about their day. Well, the kids were kind of bitching about it. They were doing it for like 3 months, and they like kind of started bitching about it. And he was like, you know what? I don't want to hear it. Like, if you guys don't want to go, you don't have to go. The next thing you know, he started noticing their attitude changing at home, talking to their mom kind of disrespectfully, having a lot more attitude. Like all this shit started happening the minute he stopped making them do that. And finally, after like 2 weeks, he's like, oh, fuck no, this is not happening. He forced them to go back. And it immediately shifted the way the kids acted. I don't even think they realized why it was happening, but you got to understand that, like, you need to equip your kids with all the tools and resources they need to set them on like a life of success. And the biggest component to that is them having their own internal self-confidence. And so just like Alyssa was saying, like, dude, a lot of people grow up in families where like you legit get fat shamed. Like, love my Mexicans, I love my Filipinos, I love my Italians, but you guys are fucked up. You guys are fucked up. If they don't eat, it's disrespectful. If they're trying to like watch what they're eating, you're telling them like you're too skinny, and then they don't do that, and you tell them they're too fat. It's like this whole
Why don't
warped
you look
thing.
like your sisters?
Exactly. So you just fuck them up through the process. And I imagine a lot of you have probably gone through that, and a lot of you have this warped vision of yourself due to your family. And I'll tell you right now, your family is never going to be your number one supporter. And from our experience personally and through many clients, your family is typically going to be the one who talks down to you the most. And I've seen it so many times. I mean, even like I had a show like a week, 2 weeks after my brother's wedding. And at my brother's wedding, I didn't eat the wedding food. I brought cold fish with me. I was eating fucking cold fish at the wedding. And my mom could not understand it and was like giving me so much shit for it, like talking down to me, like, all this stuff. And then like 2 weeks later, I did the show and I fucking won. And I was like, dude, maybe I could have had food at the wedding and like still brought in a great look, but it wasn't
mentally
about
you would
that.
have thought about that and
Exactly.
make you feel like shit.
Mentally, I would have thought about it. And so even though I was taking all this criticism from family during that time, I was not going to let anything deviate from my mission. And again, through that process, I continued to develop this insane work ethic and this insane self-confidence. Because again, I just continued to show up for myself. No matter what the fuck was happening, no matter what anyone was saying, I always showed up for myself.
Yeah, I mean, eventually you come to a point in your fitness journey where you know what you're doing and you love it and you feel good, that any comments the family make, you'll just like laugh at them and think they're ridiculous because you're like, you know who you are. I mean,
But it also comes from their shit.
Well, it's so funny. So, quick little story. Carter and I were visiting my grandparents in San Pedro. They're immigrants from Sicily, and they speak like a little English. And we went over at like 9 in the morning, and she starts putting like cookies on the table and figos from their tree, the figs that they grow on their tree there in the backyard. And like, we're like, Nona, it's 9 in the morning. I don't want your cookies. And she looks at Carter. She goes, you're so skinny.
She was pissed at me. This is the first time I saw grandparents ever like pissed at me. Just kept calling me skinny. I'm like, she knows how to hit me where it hurts. Call me skinny.
Carter's like, give me that.
Yeah, I'm like, give me some cookies. Yeah. But again, like it's, you got to kind of just meet people where they're at. But again, it's like understanding that like other people's beliefs or how they view things or how they speak are not your own. And so, again, you have to equip yourself to be able to navigate that stuff. And, again, have so much self-confidence that stuff just makes you laugh.
Yeah, absolutely. And that confidence, again, comes from, like, not feeling ashamed for putting your health first. Because, I mean, realistically, most people won't give you shit for eating pizza and, like, drinking a 6-pack of beer. But they'll give you shit if you decide to have like a fish option at dinner with some rice and veggies, and like you're not drinking, like get me a Diet Coke or some sparkling water. Oh, you're not gonna have dessert? You're not going to like have 3 cocktails, like, and it just becomes a big deal because people just don't understand it.
But I also think that's where a lot of people need to understand that those are not your real friends. Like straight up, those are not your real friends. And I won't be around anyone who doesn't want to see me succeed. And I've seen this with hundreds of clients, like not even exaggerating, hundreds of clients where they'll start their fitness journey. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, so we're not going to go party every weekend. Like, we're going to cut that back a little bit. You can still go out and enjoy yourself, but like, let's set some guidelines. They start doing that and they start setting boundaries with people, and then they get shamed and like guilt tripped for like prioritizing themselves. And like, you need to surround yourself with people like, dude, you're not going to drink. Fuck, that's awesome. Like, dude, that's inspiring. I'm proud of you. Like, how can I help you? Right? Like, you go out to eat and again, you choose a healthier option on the menu or whatever it is. Like, you need people who are going to support you and encourage that, not fucking talk down to you. And if you have anyone who talks down to you for chasing a fucking goal, go find some new fucking friends.
And this just circles back to fitness exposing your shit, because when you start prioritizing yourself and your health, and you want to see results and you feel good and you have better energy and you show up every single day, it shows all the people, exposes all the people that don't support you. It shows you what doesn't align with your life anymore, because you start elevating and becoming this better version of yourself, that everything else around you starts to change as well, because you just don't resonate with that anymore. You're like raising your vibration. So you're changing who you are, which means the people around you are going to change. And that's just a part of embracing the journey as well, and meeting people where they're at. Like, hey, you know, those were my party friends. If the relationship was deeper than that, then they'll come hang out with me over a cup of coffee, or they'll come do this with me, like whatever the other activity is. If the friendship or relationship is that valuable, then they'll spend the time with you there.
Yeah, if your relationship is dependent on a substance or on like food, wouldn't really call that much of a friendship. Like, it should be deeper. It's about just having that time and enjoying that time with people. And that's what it's all about. I mean, I even look back to Bryant. Like, we would all just like go out to the pool at our old apartment, just like go tan.
And
None of
chat.
us were drinking. We were all on meal prep, and we would just like go tan, talk for a little bit, and like just go about our day. And it's like, dude, that's a deep friendship, because there was no external thing making us enjoy our time together.
It was just a connection.
Yeah, we just generally enjoyed our time together, and that's such a fun place to be in, because then you just start realizing the relationships that you do have that are still there, how authentic they actually are. And again, this is where it's reframing and it's altering your reality, because again, everything's just authentic at that point.
So let's take it deeper. Fitness exposing your shit, talking about relationships. I think if someone in the relationship, in terms of like a romantic relationship, is on their fitness journey and making amazing progress or making all these changes, and the other person doesn't align with that, it really exposes your relationship, and like how that person can be completely unsupportive or not value the same things as you, or actually want to better themselves too. And a lot of people in relationships start becoming resentful or feeling insecure if they're also not bettering themselves.
Yeah, for sure. That's honestly a big one. And I think that comes down to people actually not sitting down and like talking about your goals and visions and like your dreams together. And that's really what everyone should be doing before you even let your relationship take off. Is like, you need to have these deep conversations. Use an example of one of our another star clients. She and her husband are both in the military. She signed out with us like a year and a half ago. Her husband wanted to sign up at the same time, but they couldn't both afford to do it. So he said, no, babe, like, you're prioritizing yourself. You had the kids, you did all that. Like, I want you to do this journey right now. I'm going to pull back. You do your thing. Long story short, she trained with us she's still with us, but she made insane progress over a year. Well, he signed up with us like 3 weeks ago, and he was just like, dude, like, my wife inspired me, and now it's like she's walking around hot and sexy. I'm like, I need to get my shit together. Now we're in a position where I can do that. And so now he signed up and he's coaching with us. Dude, he lost legit, I just did his check-in, 11 pounds in 3 weeks.
That's so sick.
Just like his wife, work ethic is unstoppable. But now she's helping him.
Yeah.
She's making my job as a coach a lot easier, because she's teaching him so much, because she already went through the journey. Now their bond is, I mean, they were already great, but like their bond's growing so much stronger. They're going through this journey together. There's no ego involved. He's yielding awesome progress. She's maintaining her awesome progress. And it's like, when you can go through that journey with your best friend, the person you love, it takes things to a completely different level.
And it's so awesome for him too. Like, kudos to him. Like, because I feel like men can be a little more overly masculine sometimes,
Yeah, pieces of shit.
and the ego can get in the way where they're like, I could do this to myself, or you can have your coach, but I don't need the help, and they don't make progress, but she does. But also like him being like, hey babe, you freaking crushed it. Like, can you teach me? Like, this is your arena and you crushed it. So how can you help me be successful? So for him to like put the ego down too. And
Yeah. And on that note, any of you men out there who are in relationships, married or just in a relationship, if your wife or your partner, whatever the fuck you want to call her, if she finally makes the commitment to better herself and you're over there bitching about money, bitching about time, bitching about something, you're a fucking piece of shit. And if I saw you in person, I would smack you across the face. Your job is to support her to her fullest, no matter what it is, no matter what her dream is, a new career, fitness, fucking traveling, whatever it is. Pull your ego the fuck out of it. Help her accomplish it. If she needs more money, figure out a way to fucking make more money. If she needs more time, help her allocate more time. Do everything you need to do to bring that vision to reality, because her success over the past year with us was because he took on more shit. She needed to allocate time to train. Again, she's active duty military and they have 2 or 3 kids together. They have every excuse in the book, but they never utilized them. They leveraged each other and they said, hey, I'm going to do what I can for you. And now the roles are fucking reversed. She does not have to train as much. Her plan is a lot more like manageable now. So now she's watching the kids more so he can go to the fucking gym and he can conquer this shit. And that right there is a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
That is how it's supposed to be. Fucking teamwork.
And relationships are not always 50-50, right? That's so impossible. And you have to be willing to make up for in percentage and what your partner lacks at times. That's a conversation. It's not an expectation. And it's being able to communicate what one another needs at that time in order for you two to support each other. And that's okay. So she was maybe, I don't know, let's make up some numbers. Maybe she needed 70, she can only give 30%, so he had to give 70, and now she can give 70 while he gives 30% to those other areas of their life, right?
Exactly. And then they're both becoming their best selves through that process. They're both going to come out of this with so much more energy with time. Like, you master time management through this process. That's the best part, because everyone sucks at fucking time management. They fucking suck at it. So you go through this process and you realize, like, damn, I have these goals. I have this shit I have to get done. And so you figure out how to make it happen. We all have this, you heard it, we all have the same fucking 24 hours, but it's true. We do. It's just, how do you manage your time? How do you master that piece? When you go through a process like this, it really helps you dial that piece in. And again, that pours over into every other area of your life, because now you're not letting your day control you, you're controlling your day.
I'd like to touch on how you said that a man's ego can get in the way. And when it comes to, let's say, like signing up for coaching, where he's like, oh, no, that's more, or I don't want to pay for that, or whatever you were saying with that. We've ran into so many issues where a woman is like 100% all in. She's so excited. She finally is like ready to get the help, say yes to herself, like make these changes. She just uncovered everything emotionally, mentally that she's been going through in order to walk through this golden gate of success. And a husband or boyfriend or partner can say, oh, I don't want you to spend the money on that. Yeah. And then tells her, ultimately, it's your decision, babe. But she's now like gaslit and manipulated to bend to this toxic masculine energy. Instead of him being supportive, he just literally like pushed her down while she was ready to just climb the mountain, and he just pushed her off. And and then she's like, oh, it's my decision, but he, this is what happened. It's like, no, it was his decision. And then you bent to him and you allowed him to take control of it because you didn't want to disrupt anything or make him upset. And that's its own packaged up trauma response. But it's like, men need to get their head out of their ass and realize that they just broke their woman's confidence and told her, that's so cute, you're confident, but nope.
Yeah. I think it's 2 things. I think, I don't ever think it's actually money. Because if it was anything that he felt he was going to be benefiting from, he wouldn't feel like wouldn't have a problem spending the money. But here's what you fucking don't understand, you dumbass motherfucker. I'm talking to you guys directly, and I hope you're fucking listening to my podcast right now because this shit makes me angrier than anything. You're telling me right now that if your wife showed up fitter, so she's sexier now, she's hotter. You just fucking got an upgrade on a wife. She has more energy. She now feels super confident. You don't think that's going to pour over into the way she loves you, into the way she like fucking gets sexual with you, all of these things? You are going to unleash that inner freak inside of her in a good way. You are her husband, and that is going to completely alter the way she operates with you. And so you should want to encourage that rather than push it down. But you motherfuckers are all fucked up in the head. You think she's going to get hot, go find another hot, juiced up fucking man at the gym and leave you. That's not what's going to happen unless you do exactly what you did and kick her off the fucking mountain. Because now she's like, oh, damn, I have a man that doesn't support me. Whether he's fucking in shape or not, she just wants a man that fucking supports her. So understand that when you do that shit, you are destroying her. And you're destroying your relationship, and you're destroying yourself to actually receive and get love in the way that we actually fucking want it, which is to be like fucking fed and fucked. That's what we want as men. We're pretty damn simple. And you're playing into that entire part, and you're ruining it, not just for her, but for yourself. So understand that there is a benefit when she actually does that, and you will benefit from that shit. So again, you want to be selfish, you want to have the ego involved, understand what the fuck is actually going to come from it, and don't kick her down, and don't be that asshole. Because men will always be stronger than females. Like, we will always be able to overpower them. I don't care who the female is, how much of a boss bitch she is. It's just the way it works. Men will have the ability to control women. And unfortunately, so many of you motherfuckers control these women and don't allow them to achieve shit. And then you wonder why she cheats on you in 20 years in her mid-40s. It's because you fucking never let her do shit for herself. You've never supported her. It was all about your dream, your vision, your shit, your job, your free time with your friends, you buying your stupid fucking shoes or whatever the fuck it is. That's your shit, dude. And so again, recognize what the fuck's going on, help her become her most confident self so that she can fucking pour into you even more. Then you can feel your best, and then you can be your fucking best. It's crazy. Think about it. Everything's fucking connected here. That was my rant.
Yeah, a man could see a value in getting a new lift kit and tires for the same price of her completely transforming her mind and her body and her self-confidence. And for women, like it is for men too, but for women even more, we're so much more emotional about our bodies. So for us to not feel like safe, confident, and sexy within ourselves, like that absolutely affects the way you show up sexually for your partner. Because a woman, honestly, a lot of women do fake it. Like they fake it in order to please their man so they can keep them around, when in reality they're not enjoying themselves because they're just thinking about how their body looks, or they're overthinking it because they don't feel good or confident in themselves, that they don't really want to wear sexy outfits or show their body naked.
Yeah, and then the last part of my fucking rant here on that one is, if you're with someone and she has your child, bro, she just gave up her body, not only for 9 months, but the years following, put herself through massive hormonal swings, struggled mentally and physically. And again, let's go back to it. She pushed a fucking baby out of her.
Or
your
she got
child,
cut open.
Yeah, or she got fucking cut open.
Which is 10 times worse.
And you're over here not encouraging her to take control of her body back again? You're a fucking dick. You're a fucking dick. You need a fucking wake-up call. You need to get your shit together, because that's not how a supportive man should be. And we have too many fucking men on this planet who are just like that. You think you're hard, you think you're fucking alpha, you think you're all this shit, but you're really just a weak fucking pussy, because you won't actually put your shit aside to encourage her to take control of her body and feel her absolute fucking best. I love this woman. I will do anything for her. She says she has a fucking goal. I will do whatever I need to do to make that shit a fucking reality for her. And why? Because I fucking love her. So don't tell me you love a woman when you're not willing to do this shit for her. We're going to clip that shit up and put it all over Instagram, because that was a good fucking rant.
Amen, brother. That's our
Amen, brother.
Amen, brother. We say that to each other. Where did we get that from?
I don't know.
I like how
don't be
so
scared,
serious.
brother. I got your back.
Oh my God.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
That was fun. We'll share that another time. But yeah, guys, we'll reel it in a little bit. I know I got a little hyphy there, but that shit really fires me up because this has not been like
Men,
one or
support your women.
yeah, like it's
Mic
not
drop.
been one or two times we've come across this. This has been like
So many times.
so
Oh my
many
God.
times.
Literally going back to a woman not having like a sex drive. I was on this call. This girl was like 25 years old, and she did a lot of like PED use super young with bodybuilding and everything. So it fucked up her hormones. And you could have fucked up hormones at a later age or a younger age, anyways. She literally couldn't get out of bed every day. She was super depressed because her testosterone levels were probably like a 3. She had absolutely no sex drive. They're about to get married in a few months. And he's like, I think he freaking competes too. I think he like literally had a coach.
Oh yeah,
because
his prep's more important than
so
hers.
important.
Fucking faggot.
And he's like, babe, what's wrong? You're like 26, you know, like you should be able to like have sex with me and like have a sex drive, you know? And then he wouldn't let her get the help that she needed or even like blood work to see what was wrong because, okay, this is going on a tangent, but I think he literally had like kids with 2 different women and was going through a divorce thing. So, but, you know, he might
also,
just be a crappy person.
why are you going through a divorce, homie?
I know, right?
Let's not blame it on the ex, bro. Let's blame it on you. Fucking look at yourself, dude. I don't even know the situation, but like, let's be
Obviously,
honest.
he's the problem here. And then guess what? They're going to get married. She still doesn't have her hormones fixed. She can't put out. He's going to cheat on her. Repeat the cycle.
And then also, guys, see, this podcast just ran into a rant. But it's also that, like, you're supposed to marry this woman. You want her to only have one wedding for the rest of her life. You want her to marry you and then commit to you for the rest of your life. And you don't want her to show up her absolute best to that wedding. The fuck is wrong with you? I don't understand how some of your guys' heads fucking work. It's absolutely insane. I can't comprehend it. And I have zero respect for people like that because it's fucking sad as shit.
And it's not even about, like, the sex. It's like she can't even get out of bed in the morning. Like she doesn't even know who she is anymore because her hormones have drastically changed the chemistry in her brain to like not feel motivated or energized or have a sense of purpose or drive to wake up and live a day of life.
100%. So I know that was a rant, my friends. I know we got deep on that one, but this just shows you how important this is to us because, again, we deal with this all the time. We talk to so many people, not just our clients, but even potential clients or just people we have conversations with. And all of this shit is repetitive. This brings up everyone's shit, and you either confront it head on, again, reframe it, get rid of the negative shit, replace it with positive ones, and become the best you. As Alyssa said, act like a pro or act like that person, act and think like that person you want to become. Or you don't, and you continue to spend years completely unhappy, miserable, and everything gets progressively worse. Just like progress compounds, and the more consistent we are, the faster and better the progress comes. Same happens the other way. The longer you don't take care of this shit, the more it compounds, the worse it gets, the shittier you feel. And the next thing you know, you're in a pit for a very long time.
Yeah. Who do you want to wake up and be in 5 years? Because you committed to the lifestyle. Who do you want to wake up and be? Think about that person. Write it down. Write down the attributes, how that person looks, how that person thinks, how that person feels. How do you show up at work? How do you show up for your partner? How do you show up for your kids, your friends, your family? How do you show up for yourself? Write all those things down and then start being that now.
Mic drop. Well, that was another episode, my friends. We hope you guys got some great info out of that one. Hopefully you guys can then take those notes, do exactly what she said, reframe a lot of these things, and watch your reality start to change.
Share this podcast with a friend that can hear this, a family member. Get the word out.
You guys definitely, I guarantee you, every single person listening, you know someone who needs to hear this episode, and you need to share this shit with them because people need to hear this stuff so we can at least help wake them up to be able to become their absolute best.
Absolutely. It starts with choosing today.
As always, my friends, you can follow us at Alyssa Rose Wellness, at The Carter Montgomery, at The Ascension Fitness.
On Instagram.
On Instagram. Link for the YouTube, link for our website will all be in the description. As always, we appreciate every single one of you. We mentioned this last week. These downloads and these views of this podcast have been continuing to double every single episode. We appreciate you guys so fucking much. We just started this. We invested some money into this. We're going full speed with it. And seeing you guys actually appreciate and take the time to listen to us genuinely means the world to us.
Yes, thank you so much because we're motivated by your guys' reactions and input. Like we want to show up. So if you show us energy, we're going to give you energy back. It's all synergistic, baby.
Boom. Mic drop. We'll see you next week, my friends.
Ciao.